Hello, welcome to another edition of Soccer As We Like It, the Man United direction. And today we are talking about part 2 of the season review. Last week we had the ladies review. Man United and Man City ladies reviewed the season 2022. Today we're reviewing the season with an Arsenal fan, a Chelsea fan, and a Man United fan. Representing Man United is Sammy from the Houston Red Army. Representing Arsenal is Greg, one of my greatest friends of all time. We grew up together, went to university together back in London, and we did our clubbing in the 90s. Those of you who know the London clubbing scene, you know what I'm talking about. And Rodrigo, representing Chelsea in Houston, Texas. Well, I won't give you guys too much information, but till you watch this video, you will enjoy so much interaction. I'm talking about the Chelsea season, talking about Chelsea players, the good old days, football in the 80s, the hooliganism between the London fans, the London clubs, the racism among fans of football back in the 80s was all talked about in this video. But we also, most importantly, talked about the season 2022 in which Chelsea finished third, Spurs and Arsenal finished fifth, and United finished sixth. But these fans will tell you how it actually went down. So don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and don't forget to watch this video. It's coming right up right now. You'll enjoy it. Sit tight, you're in for a ride.
Players had style. Your managers had style, and then on the pitch, the players had style. My only thing against Chelsea is they were a very racist club for people who were of color, of any kind of color.
Back in the day.
Back in the 70s and 80s.
Yep.
In my life. And when I say racist, I mean these guys would see you and they would chase you, right?
Yeah.
Irrespective of whether you're wearing any team colors. You could be doing your shopping on a Saturday afternoon. You're getting chased.
that was how bad it was, mate.
Well, that's the fans. Chelsea had Paul Kellerville, one of the first black players to play. Right? The club was.
Well. Hang on. Slow down there. The kind of he was one of the first black players to play for Chelsea. But you have to understand there are greats like Viv Anderson,
Garth Brooks. Yeah, the boys from Aston Villa. Yeah, that were playing football and they were having bananas thrown at them. But at least their other clubs weren't as racist as Chelsea's. You know,
fans. Those were people. Those were people, not the club. You don't break your club. Is
They are, but you have to understand. And let's not get into it too much. But you have to understand that a club has some kind of responsibility for its fans in terms of the behaviour of the fans. If the fans are openly chanting stuff, and to be clear, I'm 52 years old, right? I went to games in outside of London, so northern clubs like Newcastle, Sunderland, Manchester, and also in London games like at Crystal Palace, Chelsea, Arsenal. And here's the thing, and I'm talking about as a boy, like being 10 years old, right? Even I could go to a game at Tottenham as a boy of 10 years old. Right, and yeah, there was chanting, anti-Semitic chanting. There was the odd fan making some noise about, people of color. But guess what? By and large, it was still physically safe for me to go to the game. Yeah, as a 10-year-old, and my father wouldn't be dissuaded from taking me. It's just the noise and a few words, right? And the same applied in all London clubs and all Manchester and Liverpool clubs where they're big cities or big conurbations, right? It was not physically, but Chelsea is in the heart of London. It's a club that's in a multinational top 5 city in the world in terms of multiculturalism. So it's kind of unacceptable that I physically, as a 10-year-old or even a 20-year-old, could not go to a Chelsea game without being beaten up. I have one black friend who supported Chelsea from that time, and he was a diehard season ticket holder. He used to have an escort of about 20 friends, white friends, to escort him. But every time they played a game, I would see him come back bruised as a fan by being beaten up by his own supporters. Like, dude, that's what I'm talking about. There's a difference. I'm not between casual racism and yes, it's the fans. But that kind of endemic culture is going to have to be supported by the club.
I agree, and I think some clubs now put things into place in reference. I mean,
it can't be eradicated altogether because you can't change the people's way of thinking. But I think clubs have now put more stipulations to fans whereby they respect each other more. Yeah, there are a few incidents to Raheem Sterling recently, a few years back, but it is what it is. You can't change people, or you can educate people as much as you want, but they're always going to be who they want to be. See what I mean?
Yeah.
Right. Let's get right into the middle of it now. Alphabetically, Chelsea. Since you came third this season behind Man City and Liverpool, who fought hard. You started the season well. What would you say made your season turn around when you were going high, then suddenly started to have a little dabble? What happened? What do you think happened to your season?
He continues to have the problems he usually has. I mean, they've got great players. They've got a good coach with Tuchel, but I've always said that the midfield defense in crucial times they fall, and we see that in crucial games. When they lost to Everton, Frank Lampard's Everton, that was all mistakes. In the midfield and in defense, and teams will see those holes and take advantage of it. They would come back and play well for a few games, and again they'd lose some very important games, or they draw some games they needed to win. Right? To me, it's just there's still work to be done in the team. I mean, I know they won the Champions League the year before and all that, but but the reality is, in looking at it through, unlike a lot of fans, right, you guys included and everywhere else, we see the world through the same colored glasses that the team colors have. I don't because I played this game. I've been a fan for long, and you see the things that are weaknesses, right, and you have to point them out. These are things that Chelsea has to work on. They haven't had solution for a long time. So
question for you: Who's the weak link? Name names if you've got a weak link in defense or a weak link in midfield.
He will come to that. He will come to that when we ask him who were the worst and who were the best players for his team this season.
No problem.
It's not just weak players. It's things that Chelsea still has to work on from years back. The game has changed. There's especially when you play abroad, when you play in Europe, it's a different game. And, now you have teams who are fighting for spots who will make it very hard for you. So and there's still things that I see that Chelsea has to work on that they still haven't found a solution for. And that's where you see where they go up and down, up and down, up and down.
All right.
And that's been the story of the season.
All right, Greg. Arsenal started well, then they went up, then there was a point they literally had top four nailed on. Where would you say your season kind of took that up, then took that down? Where would you say, summarize that to me, where your season kind of changed?
The summary of our season, if you'll give me some latitude, is we started badly. Yeah, we lost. If you remember, everybody was talking about relegation there. crazy talk for a team with the pedigree of Arsenal. Yeah. The reality is we've got a young team. It's the youngest team.
Yeah, very true.
It's not just from an age perspective, but in terms of experience, a collective experience to be able to do a campaign. If you want to go to war, and when you go to do anything in an EPL, you're going to war. And it's not 100%. A war of one game, it's a war for 38 games.
100%, mate.
We have young, talented guys. They're not centurions. Yeah. There's a reason why Tottenham finished fourth and we finished fifth, because Tottenham have got at least half of their team, if not more, have done 4 or 5 EPL campaigns, right? And that is stuff that.
So you're saying the mental toughness was kind of more with Spurs than Arsenal, kind of experience and handle the pressure. Would you say that? Oh, it's gone again. Good. This one I'm gonna do.
Again, I'm just glad that the season is over for Manchester United, to be honest with you, so I can catch up on my mental health. So the thing is like that. Obviously, the season started really well.
Blood pressure medicine.
Yeah, we are actually doing well for the first 5 games, I guess, before we actually lost against Aston Villa, and ever since then the thing is going downhill. And to be honest with you, at the end of his tenure at Manchester United, Ole was literally out of date. Like his tactics was not working, players are not showing up, and we literally hit the rock bottom. Not only after losing to Liverpool 5-0, we hit the rock bottom when he lost to Watford 4-1. That was like literally just the end game for Ole, and then obviously had to release him. Carrick did a good job, decent job, to be honest with you, as an interim manager for 3 games. He didn't lose any games. Rather, he actually beat Arsenal. And then after that, I guess we had a really high hope for Ralph. I thought he's going to actually take us back to that, era where which is supposed to be, or maybe at least he's going to help us to make it top 4. But I feel like, like Ralph, without, going further on that, it's just a combination of the players' poor performance. We had a series of players, they didn't show up. Our defense was lackluster, not to mention about the Oars player, which I'm going to talk about that in the next section. And then we obviously had that CDM, which nobody even understand, and still the transfer window started. Still, I'm not seeing any positive movement of proper CDM. Okay, so to be honest with you, for Fred, I was little, kind of impressed with that he is kind of like a little improved player than the rest of the, lot, apart from, Cristiano Ronaldo, David De Gea. So yeah, so it was just a combination of our tactics didn't go well. Ralph was not up to that mark to being a Manchester United manager. I mean, he could be a great consultant, but he was not that level of managing the team or maybe making it to top 4.
Right.
So obviously that didn't work out well, and let's not talk about a few players which didn't show up. We had high hope for Rafael Varane. He didn't show up, and
right.
Yeah, so it was just a season to forget. But
tell me about it.
I could talk more about it, but it will be just a rant, nothing else.
Right, Rodrigo. Who would you name? Name me 3 Chelsea players who were your 3 best players this season.
Hey, my criteria is a little different, but I would give you. Kind of funny because one of the players is good, also is kind of bad. No. Marcos Alonso did well. I love Marcos Alonso.
Okay.
Mendy saved our butt.
He was good.
Time and time again. Right? I give him kudos. Mason Mount. Wow, he turned it up. He turned it up when we needed to score goals. He came up. Right? And again, the 2X Sawyers, Lukaku. He scored goals, did good, but then he also is going to be in the other list too, right? To be fair, I give credit to credit's due, right?
He started well in the first
Christian Pulisic, poor guy, struggles with injuries, and I think Chelsea's a bit of the problem for that. Barcelona back in the day when Messi was having problems, they found a solution. They put him in a special management. They got on a special diet. They got specialists to work with him, and the rest is history. Why didn't Chelsea do that with a guy like Pulisic? Or go back to Joe Cole back in the day.
Yeah, he suffered so many injuries, Joe Cole. He was injury prone.
Tell me a club is with the Chelsea couldn't bring in specialists to work with that. So I believe Chelsea failed Joe Cole, and I think they're failing Pulisic.
Right.
That's an opinion because I've seen what's done with other players. I saw what United did with Van Nistelrooy when he was first hurt. They waited for him. They made sure Alex Ferguson looked after him, inspired him, uplifted him. He came back, he became a scoring machine for you guys. But he just come off a horrible injury.
Okay.
I think Chelsea has not done the same with is not doing the same with Pulisic, and I believe Joe Cole's career was cut down because Chelsea either didn't have the brains to find someone to help him, or didn't want to spend the money. Right. And all you look at Messi at Barcelona. He missed his first Champions League final because he was injured. He was injured all the time.
Right.
Put him on a special program. They got a specialist, special diet. The rest is history.
Right. Sammy, name your United's best players this season, mate. Quickly.
Best player or top 3 players? Best player, right? Yeah. So if it is best player, I'm going to go with Cristiano Ronaldo. Again, there is no competition out there. Because the one thing we need to understand here, because obviously a lot of people thinking about the could be the player of the year. But the thing is like that at the end, the goals win matches, right? So you have got to give credit to the person who's scoring goals. And Cristiano Ronaldo show up 24 times, like he scored 18 Premier League goals and 6 Champions League goals for us. So, and the next player who scored, like in the second position was Bruno, who just scored 20 goals.
How many did Bruno score?
Yeah, he scored 10 goals, Bruno.
10.
Still
far from 24, bro.
24 to 10. So we don't have any like top scorer other than Cristiano Ronaldo. And if you see the stat in last few games of our Premier League season, apart from Cristiano Ronaldo, I think it is Fred was the only scorer who scored 2 goals in last 8 or 10 games. So that literally tells that how much we this depends on Cristiano Ronaldo in terms of scoring goals and winning matches. And not to mention that he scored, I think, a couple of hat tricks. And I don't think anybody else would have done that. I was very disappointed that Cavani was literally out for injury for most of the time. I wish he could have provided more support to Cristiano Ronaldo, and not to talk about Rashford and other players. But again, Cristiano Ronaldo, by far the best player of the season, and he's the best signing from our last season as well.
Okay. Jay, Arsenal, who were your best players this season? I know the list ain't that long. Oh, please. Saka.
Do I need to keep continuing?
Okay.
There's nothing more to say. If you want me to expand on that, after missing a penalty for England, the strength.
He went through a lot. That was a tough season, but he came back. He did. What was his total goals this season? What did he find those scores? He's a young guy.
I think he got to 11. It was 10 last time I checked, but maybe he got to 11 in the EPL. He carried our team. He's the outfield player who played the most games for us. And
he's not even 25 yet, is he?
Oh, the kid's not even 21 yet.
Oh, dang.
Okay. Rodrigo hit the nail on the head as well. We have to watch out for burning out that young kid. He's a young man. He shouldn't be playing every game of the season, pretty much.
If there's no one else, what do? They've got no one else.
Look,
there's no depth in squad.
The comedy at Arsenal is the young players are carrying the team. Yeah. If we leave Saka out, we've got people like Tomiyasu, who, as I believe, it takes at least a season to get comfortable and used to the pressure and the speed and the dynamics of the EPL, right? For anybody coming from a different league. Tomiyasu came from Italy. I was fully expecting him to make it through sort of till November and then get injured. He made it to December, then he got injured. And he's been in and out with injury since, yeah? Partey has been a damn squid for me. This is his second season. I was expecting big things, right? And we've seen flashes of it, but not consistently at the level that we expect from a guy who, we gave an anthem, Partey.
Right.
You know that, right? He's no Patrick Vieira, but right now he's just about punching above Elneny and Granit Xhaka.
Right.
Yeah, who we might consider swapping for Fred.
Right. Oh,
right?
Don't go there, mate.
Just to show you kind of what levels we're talking about.
Okay,
right?
So you've all talked about the best players. Now, I need you to name 3 worst, if they're more than 3. Rodrigo, give me who were the Chelsea players who underperformed this and whereby they were absolutely embarrassing.
First one off the bat that just disappointed me was Jorginho. Missed penalties, made a lot of mistakes. I expected more from a player like that. The quality that guy has, and even for his national team, he hasn't done that much. I'm very disappointed with Lukaku. His comments he made, and he was a good striker. I think he should have stayed in Inter Milan. I'm an Inter fan. I thought he did well there. He's settling well. He had a good striking partner with Lautaro. Why did he come to Chelsea?
He wanted to prove his point because, they sold him earlier. He wanted to come back to prove that I'm still the man.
And cry that, Tuchel doesn't blame me enough, and cause discord. I mean, again, it's just what we deal with today. Egos and I, me. But, he did score. He played. He took those. I give him credit. I'm not all the way, but his attitude was wrong. I mean, those are 2 ones that really disappoint me. Right. And Saul Niguez, young guy. A lot was expected of him, but he's got room to work with. But Jorginho was the one that I expected a lot of, especially in this season, because after coming off a Champions League win, you feel, hey, I want to do this again. I want to win again. I want to go back there again. We want to win another Champions League. Those are the ones I consider. And again, people again throw rocks at Pulisic. He didn't play. Well, the guy was hurt.
He was injured. I won't count that, man.
Yeah, again, you know my thoughts on that. But those are the ones that I saw. That's just my point of view. A lot of people disagree with me.
I agree. Sammy, I know you're going to mention the whole team. So, apart from Ronaldo and De Gea, who else was that bad at United this season? I've got pen and paper.
Well, I'm gonna just do the the
Hey, also watch it.
So yeah, again, by far, I feel like the worst player of the season was Harry Maguire, our fantastic captain, who literally played shamelessly around the field so many times. He literally just screwed our chances, messed up our chances. That I can't even count. I stopped counting that. So the thing is that so many parody videos are out there on social media, just on Harry Maguire. Sometimes whenever I feel down, I just go to social media and watch his parody videos. So apart from, let's not talk about Harry Maguire. Apart from that, I was really disappointed on one player is Marcus Rashford.
Oh, please.
Like
England's favorite son.
Downhill for last couple of years. His poor decision-making process. I mean, he's just kind of like lacking the basic football skill. I have very much huge respect for what he's doing off the field, for the community and everything, but he's not able to translate anything to the on the field, which is why we known him for last few years. So we need that Marcus Rashford back because he's awful in the last season. Okay, the only thing I could remember, he contributed to our team's success was that injury time winner against West Ham, I guess, that Premier League goal. So that was a really, but what all he did, he just, he was there at the right moment and just touched the ball to the,
right.
So yeah, so other than that, I mean, Marcus Rashford was pretty awful. And I don't want to mention more name, but McTominay, again, is not he shouldn't be playing for Manchester United.
Wow.
To be honest with you, a lot of my Scottish friends might not agree with me, but I don't think so. McTominay should. I can talk about Pogba. I can talk about Wan-Bissaka. The list will go long. So
the list is long. It's like I said, apart from Ronaldo and De Gea, no one else could hold their head high because the rest were absolutely awful and shambolic, weak, overhyped, lazy. Just mentally just out of it.
The reason I pick Harry Maguire and Marcus Rashford because the amount of money we paid for them and the stature they had, the amount of the expectation we had because of the money.
I agree.
The English media protects them because even though when they're off form, the English media never criticize it. But if it was Pogba or what was the difference in Martial and Rashford? Nothing. They were both off form and both lazy.
If you see the stat, Pogba still at least he made 9 or 10 assists in the Premier League. At least he was the second best assist in the team after Bruno Fernandes. So still he did something. I mean he was not Marcus Rashford. You can't see it in the stat. Apart from the stat is
3 goals all season.
Yeah, so that's why the Marcus Rashford and Harry Maguire, to me, both of them are kind of like the worst players of the season.
Right, G. Let me go to you, Arsenal. I know you. I think you have a longer list than all of us.
No, actually, I don't. Yeah. I see. Unlike most Arsenal fans who've got their heads in the clouds, I'm a realist. Yeah. We've got a young team. It's inexperienced, right? Give them a break. We've got an inexperienced manager. Give him a break. Yeah. Arsenal fans, we're harking back to the Wenger years and even the George Graham years and thinking it's our birthright to win every game and to smash 5 goals. That's not the reality. The Premiership has got harder, right?
It has, mate.
You have to spend more money just to stand still, right? And every game is a battle. So our young team, overall, if anybody said to Arsenal fans at the beginning of the season, you get Europa League, we'd have been happy, right? But the 99% of the Arsenal fans I speak to, I want to shoot. Literally, I'm like, guys, are you for real? We are not ready. We've done well with what we have. So I'm not going to curse the team, but it does shape the content of my picks. Yeah, heads up without any. I've never rated Auba.
Right.
Yeah. So some people say I'm a little bit biased. I've never rated him. Yeah, he's done as he was expected to do. But this season, and really the last 18 months, and I know he never played the whole season for us, but frankly, he is a senior player. That young team got us over the line last season. That young team carried us this whole season, right? And they will come, you got the likes of Emil Smith-Rowe coming off the bench, yeah, and he's got to 10 goals. Yeah. How is Auba, in his first full, EPL season, how is Auba not getting to 10 goals with the knowledge and confidence that the manager is going to pick him first name on the team sheet, and he's the captain? So 100% Auba.
Right. Okay.
Another interesting stat for you guys. I know you're not Arsenal fans. There's another interesting stat. Sorry, I got delivery at the door. Jesus. There's another interesting stat for all that you guys should know. Auba, in all of his seasons in the EPL, has never scored against top 4 opposition except for Tottenham at the Emirates this season.
Wow.
When we beat Tottenham 3-1. You cannot call yourself a top striker in the EPL unless, I'm sorry, you managed to score against top 4 opposition.
I agree.
So all those cheeky goals he scored against the Norwich and Burnley and that, I don't care about. I want goals against top 4 because those are the ones that matter. Right. So Auba, and then followed by Pepe, because Pepe, sorry, I got a delivery at the door.
No
Pepe is, once again, he's another senior player. He really, sorry guys, he really, sorry, I'm on the phone, Mick. Oh, thanks very much, yeah, appreciate it. Yeah, so my neighbour with a package for me. Followed by Pepe. Pepe, you might say didn't get the chances, but in training, and I've got friends whose sons are in like junior teams at Arsenal that you'll start seeing coming through, hopefully in the next couple of seasons. But they say in training, Pepe is the guy who's blessed with an abundance of talent and skill, right? It just doesn't show on the pitch. I mean, you can see his talent and stuff on the pitch.
We see a lot of players who do the social media training. They look good. We also, Marcus Rashford, social media, lifting weights. Oh, that is all social media crap. It's so crap.
The videos, he hasn't got the vitamins to be an Arsenal player.
Man, please.
Pepe.
These guys are all full of it, I swear.
So Pepe, I'm going to stop at 2. Some people will be jumping, Tavares. Tavares probably shouldn't be in the Arsenal. He's not. He shouldn't be in the Arsenal at Arsenal. If he is, he's a squad player. He's too inexperienced. But you can't blame him for that. It's the manager picking him.
100%. Right.
So that's where I'll stop.
All right, Sammy. Let me go to you quickly. Most memorable game of the season for Man United, and I mean the game that when you look at it, we were fantastic. Don't worry.
Well, I think one game I could literally think about. Remember the first leg game against Tottenham Hotspur? We literally won 3-0
at White Hart Lane.
White Hart Lane. That was a game I really consider is like the best. I mean, I won't say it's the best memorable game for me. It's like the game where we put our best performance on the field. I feel like we literally came back from, I guess, hammering from Liverpool and I guess Leicester. I mean, we had like back-to-back lost against both the teams, and then we came back and we won the game very convincingly. 3-0. So that's like a big performance.
Right.
But this memorable game would be against Spurs, but the second leg game where Ronaldo scored hat-trick.
The hat-trick. So the two Spurs games were your favorite games.
Spurs game would be my favorite, to be honest with you. I mean, I could literally talk about the Villarreal, but I think this topic is mainly related to Premier League.
Yes.
So that's why my best 2 games would be like the games we played against Spurs, and we won both the games.
Okay. Chelsea. Most memorable game of the season.
2 of them again also. One, Champions League, beating Juventus, and beating Spurs and Conte 3-0.
Okay.
Those are the ones where Chelsea showed that they could compete. They showed that they were on the way to having a good. They could have a good season.
Right.
Beating Spurs out of Europe anytime is good. That's traditional rival. So yeah, keeping those guys and everybody making Conte, Chelsea, he's gonna come back. Whatever.
Right, G. Most memorable game for Arsenal this season, mate.
I'm gonna touch upon 3. Yeah, the most memorable game was Arsenal-Liverpool. We lost. Yeah,
Arsenal-Liverpool at Anfield or at Emirates.
We lost at Emirates.
Home and away.
Right, yeah, we lost home and away, and in the City game, we took. But the reason those 2 are memorable is because our young team showed we could take the game to City, we can take the game to Liverpool. Yeah, although we lost both those games. But for a game that we won, obviously, beating the scum, beating Spurs at the Emirates 3-1, I was present, sir. Lovely. In the sunshine, it was lovely.
Okay. Sammy, worst United game this season that you want to forget, like you won't even tell your grandkids about that match.
Well, obviously it's no-brainer 5-0 hammering from Liverpool. I'm not going to tell a soul about it. I mean, like, that was awful. I mean, like, literally, I feel like at some point they literally showed us mercy by not scoring any more goal. I mean, we could have easily landed a half-dozen goal.
You know, Arsenal, that game, Klopp told them to ease off because second half, they just, it could have been 8 or 9. It could have been. I mean, over the 2 games, they beat us 9-0 in 2. Yeah. I mean, it was.
So think about that team. I actually picked the 5-0 hammering for Liverpool over that 4-1 against a relegation battle at Watford. That means how awful that game was.
That was a home. That was the 5-0 was a home.
So many games, yeah. But that Liverpool game was home. Literally just we hammered us in front of the 70,000 supporters. Like
the fans were by the 68th minute. Fans were starting to go home.
Yeah. So anyway, obviously that going back to your question, 5-0 hammering the hand of Liverpool was my worst game of this last season.
Okay, Rodrigo, worst game of the season for Chelsea.
There's some more than one that Chelsea just one that 2-hour shootout against Liverpool in the FA Cup final. That was a hard lose.
That was harsh. That was harsh.
In poker. So winning against him in a final like that was painful.
You lost 2 finals today, right? 2, right?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh yeah. 2.
1-0 was hard with Frank Lampard as coach, right?
Right.
And again, that's a game that we needed to win because they get closer to stay on the tails of Liverpool. And they won the league. We were in 73 points. They were in the 90s. So again, it's just you couldn't keep up with them. Not tying with you guys when you guys just got rid of Solskjaer. We tied 1-1 with you guys. We should have beat you. And that was like, okay, here we go again. Right. So those are the ones that I picked that were like, no.
Okay, Greg. Arsenal, worst game of the season for you. I think I could pick up 15.
Thank you. You can. You actually can. I'm like...
No, United, I could pick 19, so it's all right. Don't feel bad.
Heroes.
I feel like crying. Honestly, I feel like crying. There's so many, right?
Which one was the worst?
The one that was the most painful, obviously, was losing against Spurs
3-0.
Yeah, because we didn't deserve to be in Champions League, and we can't compete in Champions League. But we actually just for
nearly you were nearly there. Actually, you were nearly there.
We gave up. We put ourselves in a position where we had games in hand. Right.
And you lost all of them, mate.
We lost all of them. So all of those games that we lost leading up to that, including that game, were the worst games of the season.
Right,
because we didn't. All we needed to do was draw all of those games. We didn't even need to win them. If we drew the Spurs game and one other, like it was comfortable, right? But Arteta's inexperience. If Conte was our manager, there's no way we'd have been sitting in the Champions League. We might even have caught Chelsea if Conte was our manager.
I want to disagree. I want to disagree. Right. Rodrigo, on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you give this whole season for Chelsea? What would you grade your season?
7.5.
7.5. Okay. I can see that. Not bad. Sammy, go on, Rodrigo. What did you say? 7.5. All right. Sammy.
4.
4?
Yeah.
You're being generous. I'm giving out 2. Mate, I'll tell you what I gave out 2. We got knocked out the FA Cup at home. Knocked out the Carabao Cup at home. Knocked out Champions League at home. Lost to Liverpool at home 5-0. Come on. 2.
I think that The reason I gave them 4 because we are still making it to the Europa, but yeah,
barely.
Yeah.
We have to thank Brighton for beating West Ham to allow us go to Europa instead of go to European Conference. That is how bad this team was.
Yep.
Yeah. Actually, 4 is, I think, for me, is like a very bad rating because I don't
4,
think so.
you're saying they're nearly average, but I respect your marks, mate.
Yeah, in my scale, 2 and 3, I never actually gave anyone 2 and 3. I'm not so harsh. So I think 4, if I say 4, it's actually very bad. But anyway, I got your point, and I think your 2 is kind of equivalent to my 4.
Mate. Yeah. G, what are you giving Arsenal?
Once again, I'm hovering between sort of 7.5 and 8. I may say I may go up to 8 simply because we don't have the right to expect what Chelsea and United have. Yeah, you guys are ahead of us in Chelsea are ahead of us in terms of the quality and depth of squad and even the experience. United, well, in which part aren't you ahead of us? Resources, money, finances, experience. And
where did we land? You finished ahead of us still. I thought up and all that.
Yeah, well, this is why I'm adding the extra half mark. You guys have got Champions League winners, World Cup winners, like Euro winners, like you name it. You got winners all over the pitch, EPL winners. There's no reason for you to be where you are. But anyway, we're talking about Arsenal. So our team to get to Europa League and 5th place was literally just like, to be honest, that young team, it was like winning the league. So let's give them an 8, hoping that our management open their eyes and see if they can add some. We need a spine and we need depth of squad. Yeah. When Tierney gets injured at left back, going back to what Rodrigo was saying with the treatment of players and management of their off pitch training, the sheer fact that we've got to play Tavares, it's not his fault. How we play Tavares at left back when Tierney gets injured, it's disgusting. So management, like with United's management, are culpable, need to make sure they back the coaching staff.
Right. So, Rodrigo, what are you expecting next season? Whatever you got doing the transfer market, what would be your ambitions for next season?
I don't really know what to expect. There's a new owner, right? I don't know anything about them. All I know is they own the Dodgers. Will they bring in people? Abramovich. I'm never a fan of Abramovich. He's a criminal. I never liked him. I appreciate what he did for the team. What he did was he brought in football people who knew the game, who understood the game and knew how to do things right as far as knowing football. I don't know how this new guy is. I don't know him. I'm an American, but still, I don't like Americans owning soccer teams in other countries. I don't know what he's going to do. I really don't know. I mean, there's talk, he's going to give money. Fine, but did you bring the people in to support Tuchel? When he says, I need 2 new defenders, I need another center midfielder, is he going to be able to get him what he needs? The reason Man City and Liverpool are successful because they do things right. They pick the right players, they bring in the right football people, they bring in the right coaches, they can do them. They do things right. It's a long-term thing. Chelsea, again, Abramovich, he is what he is. He had good people in place, but we fight coaches like we change underwear, right? That doesn't help. You cannot construct a long-term project when your coach lasts 3 years. I'm sorry.
Even 6 months.
Man United is a brand because Alex Ferguson, after they wanted to fire him in '86, he was there for 28 years.
4 years, and then he won the FA Cup, right?
1990, first trophy. He was actually that season. He was about to be fired. They were about to fire him, mate.
Yeah, and Wenger there for a good while. He built a structure. Yeah, right? You have to have a long-term plan. Right. I don't know this guy. I don't know.
I agree with you 100%, and as you said as well.
Oh yeah, we're gonna do good. We got new owner, we money. No. Again,
I 100% agree with you.
I am a realist. I'm 59 years old. Been watching the game since I was a kid. I am a realist. It's good to be optimistic and positive, but it's wait and see because.
So, question for you, Rodrigo, just about ownership, right? We've got Liverpool with American ownership. We've got Arsenal with American ownership, and
United
as well. And yeah, it's one of those. The money.
It can be tight.
There, it's gonna come over here.
It's good, but if you don't know how to use it, and United is a good example of that.
Yep.
If you don't know how to use it, you don't put. The first thing is you have to put capable football people
In the right positions,
Right.
who know the game, not business investment bankers all over the damn place.
Think about this. I mean, how many since Alex Ferguson left? How many coaches does United have?
Exactly.
You're on 6. Are you on 6, United?
How many what?
Coaches.
I mean, this is
4.
Since Alex Ferguson left, Moyes, Van Gaal, Mourinho, Ole, interim, Carrick, and Ragnick, and now 6.
yeah, not 4, 6. Again, and your results don't change.
No.
Your results don't change. So again, you gotta look at some. You don't just fire. You have players. And no disrespect, I compare. I find very, very similar what's going on with the Mexican national team and Man United. You have players that don't have the attitude to win. They don't have the drive to win. They're stars. Pogba is a clown. I'm sorry, great player, clown. On him.
He's a luxury.
I'm laughing because it's the truth, mate. I think he was. I think he let himself down. But the argument is, did they have the right team around him? He's been there 6 years, and I don't. You know what? That's on another day for another.
Definitely. They have no spirit to win. You have no spirit to win. You have too many coaches, no long-term project, nobody in the office that will support them. And again, you go back to City, they've got the Barcelona sporting director.
Yeah.
And they have people in place to bring the right people in and do things right. That's why they're in the 90s, 93, 94 points. Chelsea 73, and the rest of you guys. That's the reason. And that's structure. Getting the right people in the right places, and they'll have a structure of support.
Very much.
I need 2 defenders. I need a number 18. I need an upfront striker. Then that's their job to go out and get it, or as close as possible, where the coach can work with them and support them. And there's a football structure that creates a football culture like Alex Ferguson had, like Wenger, like Ancelotti has.
Yeah.
Has, like Guardiola's had, like what Hansi Flick had. And you see the difference. They do things right. Bayern Munich is all about football. My respects to that team. They are a footballing club through
football only. Greatness. Not commercial.
Right. Soccer club into commercial.
Sammy.
I have to go.
Yeah, actually, to be honest with you, you guys already started the discussion, so I'm just going to piggyback on that. So first of all, and again, talking about the organization structure, we don't have person in the right area who knows football, who literally like this person, John Marto. I mean, he's also coming from the same background where, Ed Woodward used to be. Like, so he does not have that background of, footballing background. So how you going to actually make the decision of which player you should get when you don't have a higher up, people in the higher up chain don't know much about the football?
That's the problem.
I'm not sure he's even a right choice for technical director. Too bad that we didn't get Van der Sar, because I wish we would get Van der Sar. That would be one of the ultimate pick for technical director position. So now going back to your question, team, that what you're thinking of what would be our expectation
next season? Yeah,
I'm gonna just lower my expectation. I already lowered it. So again, Pep and Klopp not going away. I mean, they'll be here with City and Liverpool, and Glazers will still be there. Okay, so realistically, I'm not expecting that we're gonna just think about rainbow and unicorn, that we're gonna win something next season right away. That's not gonna happen. Okay, so what I expect that we have a coach, Ten Hag, who has a great pedigree of nourishing young talents and build up a team. That's what I want. I want Ten Hag to build a team. Either he brings youth or we get some good signings from outside. Just build a team for the future, at least for 5 years. So we need to have a long-term vision. I'm not sure how that's going to pan out since the organization stays the same. We still have the same executive, same owner. But I hope Ten Hag would be able to do something, and maybe he will build the team for the future. One thing I liked about going back to Ralph, I know he didn't do much what we expected from him. I think he managed 24 games and we won 10 and lost 7. So it was kind of like an average, mediocre performance from management.
I think he was.
One thing he did,
struggled a bit.
He did something which I guess we needed someone from an outsider to do.
Yes.
A few people under the bus. And that's what we wanted.
Yes.
We wanted someone to speak up, not to get bogged by what your owners or your your executive directors say. Just go and just speak up and just throw them under the bus. That's why I have huge admiration,
respect for him.
I remember him for that. That okay, he didn't win any trophy for us. We had a video performance under his belt, but at least he spoke up, which we needed. We needed someone to talk about the main issue that are happening in our club. So again, as I said, I'm just expecting that we will be able to build up a team for the future. Not expecting that we're going to win any silverware. If we get something, that'll be a bonus. But I just want to see a team for the future. We're going to play United style football. Player who will show up for their badge. Player who will see that they will have a future at the club. Not for making money, but to play good football. Okay, I know if they play good football, they'll make money. Okay, but the thing is like that. Some player need to have the mindset that your first identity is
to play for the badge.
Media icon. You are a footballer.
You know,
whatever you are asked to do, if you play good football, then your followers will keep following. Just follow a guy like Cristiano Ronaldo. He played good football. That's why he has the highest followers on social media. But if he would have thought about that in the beginning, though, I have to grow my social media accounts, he won't be as good as he is right now.
Very true.
The philosophy and mentality has to change about players.
They will still have Cristiano Ronaldo in the dressing. They will share the same dressing room with him. So learn from them. So hopefully Ten Hag would be a kind of a maestro at the.
Okay. Rodrigo wanted to quickly say something before I bring in Greg.
It's interesting to see because Ten Hag, with all the qualities bringing, has a very difficult job because he obviously has to he's got to clean up. He's got to clean out some players. The hard part is because of the way it is now, getting rid of those players, selling them off, getting them off United books.
Just clear the dead goods, yeah.
Because they make a lot. They make good money United. They're not going to leave like what's going on in Barcelona now. Ten Hag's going to have a tough job restructuring the team because
I hope you would be given the time. Yeah.
But it's things beyond his control because now you're going to player finances. You're going to getting rid of players with high salaries that don't. That's always difficult. It's not going to be easy. If he has the support of the club, it will help. But he's got a tough job. Yeah,
100%. I think I'm beginning to think.
What Sam says is good. Everybody wants that, but the reality of this is, and again, Tuchel's going to have the kind of the same problem in a way. It's more difficult for you guys because of the players we have. That could be as easy to get rid of because who wants to buy them? They're not exactly putting up the pitch, right? So getting rid of them, who wants them? That's
another thing. Great,
especially on those salaries.
Yeah, of course. We sign players on long-term contracts. Some players are overpaid, overhyped, not good enough. Then when we can't even ship them off because no one wants to pay those salaries. Rashford, 225 a week. Rashford, 205 a week. Who's going to pay those salaries? No one else.
You never know from Sanchez that you bought off Arsenal.
They're not.
Very few people can pay Pogba's salary, right? Seriously, I mean, Juventus said, PSG can probably pay it. Real Madrid can pay again. He hasn't been bringing up the pitch either. Who wants to deal with that personality?
Exactly.
Things going on that's going to make it difficult for Ten Hag. Now,
it will be difficult if they don't support him.
Do I believe Ten Hag can do the job? I think he can, but it's not going to be easy.
No, it won't. It won't be.
But actually juggle between all these players' ego, manage the dressing room and also fill some owners' expectation.
What he has to do is clear that he has to clear the squad of players who don't have the spirit to win.
That is the problem. He has to get rid of them. But the club has to support his decisions. If they don't support his decisions, because some of those players, they're in the mind, United is a retirement home. Look, Phil Jones has been there since 2011. He has missed 2 seasons. 2 seasons, but he said he wants to stay. Stay for what?
But who's going to buy him? Where's he going? Who's going to buy him?
Team, you know about what's going on with the Brazilian player Pereira, right? So they're going
Pereira.
to back to United, and nobody wants to buy him. The same situation with Phil Jones, you know, nobody wants to buy him because they are not under. They're totally under.
They're not marketable.
They have nothing to contribute. I mean, they're not even fit to play in the championship or like, you know.
Phil Jones is on 80+ a week.
Yeah, and that's even on the low part of United earners. He's on a low earner.
But why would he leave? No one's going to give him 80K anywhere else.
One of the wonderful things that United had and Arsenal had in the days of Wenger and Ferguson, the players of those teams were competitive. They didn't like to lose. They played to win. They gave everything in the pitch.
There was a pride.
They had the spirit to win.
Yeah.
The spirit to play. You look at now, I don't care if you have Cristiano not in there. That team is awful because they don't have that spirit to play for the shirt. They
No. It's about social media following.
Exactly.
That's what it is.
It's ruined more players here because they worry more about the image on social media than they do what they do on the pitch.
That's what it is.
You know, a guy like Roy Keane.
Think about it. Let me say this quickly. Think about it. When we had Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, when you were off form, you still got played every week. Whether you were off form, you still guaranteed a first-team spot. So why would they want to play any better when they know I'm still going to be picked?
That's the problem.
When Ralph Rangnick comes in and says, "Hey, you're off form, you're not playing," they have an attitude. Then they down tools, don't play, can't be bothered. You know what? You bring on Rashford, bring on Lingard to come in as subs. They're walking down the road like they're walking a dog down the road. No, this can't be bothered. So when you have those mentality of players, but the media protects certain players because of the passport. You see what I mean? And this is the truth. It is what it is. But people will not. They won't call certain players out because of the passport. Yeah. But the truth is, some of those players with the passport get away with so much, and that is also killing the club. Because when Ralph Rangnick came in, he was throwing everyone. This player is not good enough. He was asking why were players put on long-term contracts, and you know they're never going to play for his club. But the club doesn't like that. That's why they moved him on, because even though he was asked to be a consultant, a club builder, they shipped him out because they didn't like what he was saying.
Yeah.
You see what I mean?
Yeah. And to be honest with you, I actually cut him some slack to Ralph because of the fact that Ole started this culture of playing those underperforming players day in day out, and Ralph just got a team.
Greg, let me bring you in. So Greg, tell me what Arsenal's expectations are for next season. Then you could ask questions quickly. So that'd be your last.
I haven't got time for any questions. I'm sorry, guys. I've got an 80th birthday party to go to, and I'm late already. So it's going to be my last comment.
Right, cool.
From the length of the United conversation and the passion from all of us, right, me included, even though I never said anything, Arsenal have less problems than Man United.
100%. 100%.
That's the good news. Yeah. The bad news is I've got no expectations. Unlike other Arsenal fans. Other Arsenal fans, they're not realistic. Yeah. What expectation can we have? We've got a young team, talented, right? We've got at least 6 or 7 talented players. The likes of Emil Smith-Rowe, Saka. You've got Odegaard, Tomiyasu, Tierney, even Ramsdale, keeper. Yeah. And how could I forget our Brazilian? What's his name? Now, the reality, Gabriel included as well. The reality is those guys, they need to get any success in any long-term campaign. You need to have centurions, and Tim, I think you understand what I mean when I say centurions. You need to have the personnel who know where it is to get something to the end of the line to see a battle through. Not the first battle, not the second battle, all the battles till the end of the season or to the end of whatever that cup run is. And we haven't got that, right? We just haven't. So I don't expect anything to be different next season, other than probably it will be worse because we're trying to do a campaign for EPL, an EPL 4th place or top 4 place, and we're also going to be burning resources in Europa, and we just haven't got that to do. It's interesting that we all started talking about dynasty, and to achieve a dynasty, you need structure and experience, right? On the structure side of things, Arsenal had David Dein working
up here when Wenger was coaching.
Yeah.
So they worked hand in hand. A lot of Wenger's success and on-pitch successes were because he had David Dean fighting the battles at board
Like
level.
Ferguson and David Gill.
Yeah, yeah, right, exactly. You had exactly. When David Dean left, guess what? Arsenal stopped winning the league. It wasn't just Wenger. Yeah, it was publicised that we had bills to pay and loans to service and what have you. But when David Dean left, with the Arsenal, we've won the FA Cup. That's it since then. And yeah, we've won it quite a few times. But they're cup runs, right? Wenger's aim was always, let's try and get to top 4 and try and win the FA Cup. How can Arsenal fans expect more than that now? Well, we don't have a David Dean at board level. The new guy, he's trying, Vinay Venkateshwar, but he's a newbie, and Arteta's a newbie. We've got Edu there running around as well in between. What can we expect? We're not gonna. It'll be a miracle if we've won the FA Cup. It was a miracle to we won the FA Cup 2 or 3 seasons ago. The best we can expect is maybe FA Cup, half a Europa, Carabao. Yeah, we got beaten by Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup. Right, round what? Yeah, right.
We got beaten by Middlesbrough, mate. So it ain't no different.
Right. So the reality is, if we come 5th next season, and just 5th, we'd have done well. The only change that I want to see is if the Arsenal can get a spine. We just need a spine. 3 players, a top striker, as in somebody who's clinical.
Well, Lacazette.
See, Lacazette wasn't clinical enough. But part of I didn't. I rate Lacazette in terms of I appreciate Lacazette because he worked hard for the team, and he's the sole reason that those youngsters, our attacking youngsters, feel comfortable in the team. He really helped bring them on. They loved playing with him, and he took a lot of the pain for them. So he would try and keep centre backs busy, but his lack of goal scoring. And other Arsenal fans laugh when I say this. His little legs couldn't get, but he was playing so deep, right, with his facing our goal. His little legs couldn't get him into the 6-yard box to finish any of the crosses. Imagine the poor guy trying to chase. He comes deep, transitions the play up to Saka, right? By the time Saka sprints off, and by the time Saka's got to the byline, Lacazette's nowhere near the edge of the box, right? He was never going to be able to get the goals. Auber is goal hanging by the corner flag instead of, because he was never that central striker. He's goal hanging by the corner flag. Auber could make it into the box. We played most of the games last season with 10 men and we were carrying Auber. I swear, right? We just need a striker. Eddie Nketiah, funny enough, he scored 5 goals in 7. 5 goals in 7 starts, right? It may be, but we still need that clinical striker. We need Eddie as a squad player. I want a dominant midfielder, right? Forget Partey. He's had enough time. He's not delivering. Someone who's good, who's better than Partey to be in that midfield, either as a holding midfielder or preferably one who can ping balls about left, right, and centre.
Right.
The interesting thing is, if Arsenal had proper holding midfielders, just like United, if you had proper defensive midfielders, we would have benefited greatly from Thiago Alcantara, who went to Liverpool. Yeah, so picture, and it's a mistake that Arsenal made. I think we should have got a Thiago Alcantara a lot. Yeah, and I know it took him a season last season to get used to the EPL. And he's like Pogba, I find, is a bit of a luxury player. But if you can put a team enough around him to allow him to play, guys like Pogba, guys like Thiago Alcantara control the game, right? We should have bought him, but along with him, we should have bought a solid defensive midfielder, one who just lock up shop, and then you got Thiago Alcantara controlling things. I have no idea what the Arsenal coaching staff and recruitment staff are thinking, but we need that. Also, in defence, we need a more experienced centre back. Gabriel loses his head; he becomes a bit of a chicken head at times. Right, and he needs he does, right? He needs the remote control of Thiago at Chelsea. Rudiger, if you look at Rudiger's
a good player.
Oh, stop it. Rudiger and Christensen are not top defenders. They looked like top defenders when Thiago turned up at the age of 36 years old to play centre back. right? To cover their mistakes and to remote control a system, right? Rudiger's going to get away with it in Spain, and so is Christensen. But in the EPL, trust me, Rudiger was about 10% better than Mustafi, the gift giver. Both of them were World Cup winners with Germany, but come on, Mustafi, right? You saw what happened when Mustafi was playing at Arsenal, especially after we retired.
He was rubbish. I mean,
he was
bad.
Rudiger could have become that player if he was at Arsenal, but because and he used to make loads of mistakes. I'm sure Rodrigo will agree with me. He made loads of mistakes in Chelsea, but when Thiago turned up, all of a sudden Rudiger's looking like world class.
Okay,
and that's the truth. Yeah.
All right.
So Arsenal, Ben White isn't that guy to control Gabriel. We need that solid, experienced centre back who knows the dark arts of football, proper dark arts of football, and he'll make Ben White a better player. He'll make Gabriel a better player. Overnight, people will be going, Gabriel, that guy. Then people will be talking about Gabriel like they talk about Rudiger. But there's no difference between them. They're just like guys they're like German shepherds. They smell meat and they go and try and bite it, right? Meanwhile, the real thieves are sneaking in at the back post like Harry Kane, right? Look what Ronaldo did to Gabriel. Remember that game? How he cruised in behind him?
Yeah.
For that goal.
Yeah, when the ball went over him.
Over it.
Right. That's what I mean. A dark arts defender, there's no way that would have ever happened. But Gabriel, he smelt meat and then he took his eye off, Ronaldo. As a defender, the striker or the forward player is never meant to be able to see the back of your shirt. When he can see the number of your shirt and you can't see him, you're in trouble.
True.
That's experience.
True.
So Thiago will make a guy like Thiago at centre back will make Gabriel and Ben White better players, and then some cover for Tini, who's sick note at left back, and our defence is solid.
Okay, Greg, Arsenal, thank you so much for your contribution. You said you're out, right? So I'll see you soon, bro. We get you on soon. Thank you very much,
Sammy and Rodrigo. Nice to meet you guys. Take care and good luck for next season. Yeah,
we'll be back soon. All right, guys. Thanks a lot, bro.
Bye.
You take it easy. All right.
Bye.
Bye. Right, gentlemen. Rodrigo, you have any questions for Sammy? Do you have any questions for Chelsea?
You go first, Rodrigo.
I know he has a lot of questions.
Season all the way around because of the times we're living in. Again, Chelsea's got a new owner. I don't know what's going to happen. I mean, anything could happen, Interesting what's going to happen. I'll be watching what happens in Man United because it's interesting when a club like Man United, who is been used to being champions and winning in everything they play, being in the situation you're in now, and watching what happens now with a new manager who's going to do a thorough clean job, how that's going to affect not just you guys, but the whole league. Because whatever you guys do, if it works, the rest of us have to watch. The rest of the teams in the league and around the world have to say, well, Man United dug their way out of the hole doing this. Okay. If things don't change, you have to question, why aren't they changing? We have another manager, another new way to clean up, knowing the problems they have. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be very interesting for, I think, the Premier League to see how you guys, not you guys, but your club handles this needed transition. I believe Ten Hag can do very good things for United. I thought Radwick could do good things for you guys, but he walked into a mud hole.
I know, right? I mean, this is what I'm saying. Radnick is a club builder. He builds clubs.
But he's not like an interim, like a manager.
No, he's a club builder.
I mean, somebody can steady the sheep or something
right.
like that.
But what he did is he showed the rest of us that the players United don't have the spirit to compete. They're what's
lacking that elite mentality. We don't have that anymore.
Well, weak. The players have a weak mentality. The philosophy is not right there. They don't. You see, like I said, when you put a culture of, even if I don't play well, I'm gonna be selected every week. So why does he need to put his best foot forward when he knows I'm still gonna be selected next week? If I had a bad game, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 games, very bad, I'm still gonna be selected. When you should have been benching him, like, listen, you're not playing on the bench, someone else is going to play. Then you're like, I got to work hard. That is the mentality. All they kept
not about
playing
the
them.
lack of quality. We do have quality. We have players with tons of experience and experience with winning silverwares. It's about the getting that winning atmosphere in the dressing room. That was lacking. I was like literally like perplexed that knowing that even if we have a champion like Cristiano Ronaldo in the dressing room, why not the players are getting motivated? So maybe there is something going on. There must be some lobbies out there that some people are aligned to Harry Maguire. That's why, I really want we should strip the captaincy of Harry Maguire's chair, because he should not be captain anymore. He can play, maybe he will still play for us, but he should not be the captain starting from next season. But that's the first change
that the new manager should make. He should choose a new captain, a real leader, a real leader.
Have you read Roy Keane's autobiography?
What is it, Rodrigo?
Have you guys ever read Roy Keane's autobiography?